Good morning, students. Welcome back to our video classes. We are left with only two chapters, not two chapters, but one chapter, that is the probability, and one or two exercises of the differentiation, that is the application of differentiation part. So today we shall start the probability, and after the probability we shall finish the remaining part of differentiation, that is the application of differentiation. We shall finish. Probability is not very new topic for you people. You have studied about the probability in class 10 as well as in class 11th also. The probability in 12th is in continuation of what you have studied in 10th and 11th. But still, in brief, I'll recall those things so that it will be easy for you to understand. Though here only we have to start from the laws of probabilities, but before starting the laws of probabilities, we should know what is probability. Probability is nothing but the measure of uncertainty. The events which is not certain, what is going to happen. Sometimes we used to say that today it may rain, it may not rain. Means we are not certain about whether it will rain or it will not rain. So what is the chances of its raining, or what is the chances that it will not rain? That is find out using the probability. And in probability there are two important terms: sample space and event set. What is the sample space? It is the collection of all possible outcomes of an experiment. Then another term comes experiment. Any action which gives well-defined result is called an experiment. For example, if we toss the coin, then its outcomes are well-defined. Either we shall get head or we shall get tail. It means tossing of a coin is sample space. Similarly, if we roll the die, the result or outcome is well defined, so it is an experiment. And if we collect all the possible outcomes, then collection of all the possible outcomes of an experiment is called sample space. As in the case of tossing of the coin, sample space will be obtaining head or tail. If you roll the die, sample space will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, likewise. Then what is the event? The event is those parts or those outcomes of the experiment which favor the given conditions. For example, if in the rolling of die I say probability of getting even numbers, then what will be event set? All the even numbers of the outcome, that is 2, 4, 6. This will be the event set. And what will be the cardinal number of event set here? Cardinal number of the event set is here 3. Cardinal number of the sample space is 6. So probability of getting the even number of probability of occurrence of this event will be cardinal number of event set upon cardinal number of sample space, that is 3 by 6. That is 1 by 2. Here one thing is very clear, that event set is the sample subset of sample space. So cardinal number of event set must be less than or equal to, cardinal number of event set will be less than or equal to cardinal number of S. So if you divide by ns, you will get probability of occurrence of any event is always less than or equal to 1. Or we can say probability of occurrence of event is less than or equal to 1, greater than or equal to 0. This is the important properties of the probability. Probability can never be negative. The minimum value is 0, and if the value of probability is 0, then event is called impossible event. For example, in rolling of the die, if I say what is the probability of getting the number more than 6, so it is 0. We shall never get the number more than 6. In the same way, if we say what is the probability of getting number less than 7, it is surest event, always it will occur, so its probability will be 1. So if probability of an event is 1, it is called surest event, and if probability is 0, it is called impossible events. And probability of any event always lies between 0, 1, 1, or its value is always less than 1. If you change it into the percentage, you have to multiply by 100, and in that case the probability can be 100%. But it can never be more than 100%, and it can never be less than 0%. Then now we shall come to the laws and definitions. The first law is, if is any experiment in which A and B are two events, B are two events associated with sample space S, then and if A is a subset of B, then probability of A will be less than or equal to probability of B, and second one is probability of B minus A, if you want to get, that will be equal to probability of B minus probability of A. These are very important results. If A and B are two events, both the events are associated with the same sample space S. If A is a subset of B, then probability of A must be less than probability of B, or it can be even equal to B, but it can never be more than B. Secondly, if we want to get the probability of B minus A, then it will be equal to probability of B minus probability of A. Then there are different types of events. If we are taking more than one events, then it can be mutually exclusive events and exhaustive events. So now we shall see when two events are said to be mutually exclusive and when they are said to be exhaustive. Mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. Mutually exclusive events. If we make the diagram here, this is event A, this is event B, then these are mutually exclusive. Nothing is common in them. Are in that case A intersection B is equal to 5. Then such an event is called mutually exclusive events, or they are disjoint events. In other words, we can say they are disjoint events, and in that case probability of PA union B will be nothing but PA plus PB. There is another type of event that is called exhaustive event, mutually exclusive, and the second type is exhaustive events. Exhaustive events. Two events A and B are said to be exhaustive if A union B equals to sample space. Then what will be the probability of A union B? This implies probability of A union B will be nothing but probability of sample space, and it is always 1. So two important events we studied here. Mutually exclusive events is those events in which A intersection B is 5, and for such events PA union B will be PA plus PB. While exhaustive events, if two events are in such a way that A union B, their union is equal to sample space, then they are called exhaustive events. We can generalize also. Instead of A and B, we can take number of events E1, E2, E3, E4, and if they are exhaustive, then E1 union E2 union E3 union U4 equal to sample space. Similarly, if they are mutually exclusive, then E1 intersection E2 intersection E3 intersection E4 equal to 5. Then what will be the case if they are mutually exclusive and exhaustive together? If any event satisfies both the condition, mutually exclusive, mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. And exhaustive events. A union B is S and A intersection B equals to phi. Both the condition is satisfies. What is S here? S is sample space. Then events are said to be mutually exclusive and exhaustive. It means here PA union B will be equals to PA plus PB, that will be equal to 1. So for mutually exclusive and exhaustive events, PA plus PB equal to 1. PA union B equal already 1. PA plus PB also will be equal to 1. Then now we shall see some laws related with the mutually exclusive and exhaustive events, are some laws related with the probability. Addition theorem or addition laws. Addition theorem on probability. Addition theorem on probability. Probability of A union B is nothing but probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Derivation is very simple. We know that in set theories, we know that A union B equal to cardinal number of A union B equals to cardinal number of A plus cardinal number of B minus cardinal number of A intersection B. If we divide by n as both the sides, if you divide by n as both the sides, we shall have the required result. This is probability of A union B. This is probability of A, probability of B, and probability of A intersection B. From here itself you see, if the events are exclusive, PA intersection B will be 0. So first condition is satisfied. Probability of A union B equal to probability of A plus probability of B. If A union B equal to S, then what will happen? This value will be 1. So PA plus PB minus PA intersection B, that value will be 1. What happens if there are 3 events? Probability of A union B union C. This will be equal to probability of A, probability of B, plus probability of C, minus probability of A intersection B, minus probability of B intersection C, minus probability of A intersection C, plus probability of A intersection B intersection C. This is also very important result. Now we shall come to some analytical formulas which are helpful. If we make the Venn diagram, this is set A, this is set B. This region is called A minus B. This region is called A intersection B, and this is called B minus E. So different type of questions may be put from here. Sometimes it may be asked, find the probability of occurrence of A only. So this A minus B is called probability of occurrence of A. Occurrence of A only. If it is asking, then you have to find PA minus B. PA minus B can be obtained in any ways. It can be written PA minus PA intersection B. That can be written as probability of A minus probability of A intersection B. Or the same thing can be written as PA intersection PB complement. P probability of A intersection B complement. The meaning is same. Whether you find PA intersection B complement, you find PA minus PA intersection B, or you find PA minus B. All these three cases, it indicates probability of occurrence of event A only. Similarly, it is asking probability of occurrence of B only. Then we can write B minus A. Or probability of B minus B, probability of A intersection B, or probability of B intersection A complement. Sometimes it may be asked in the question, find the probability of occurrence of exactly one of the event. So exactly one of the event, there are two events. So either there should be occurrence of A or there should be occurrence of B. So occurrence of A only or B only. Here in probability, one important terms you have to keep in mind. Intersection is read as and union is read as or. So you have to find probability of occurrence of A intersection B complement or A complement intersection B. Then this will be the probability of occurrence of exactly one of the event. Exactly one of the events. What will be PA union B from here, from this diagram? PA plus PB minus this value, or PA minus B plus PB. So just see, PA union B, in how many ways it can be obtained? PA union B, if you want to get probability of A union B, can be obtained by getting PA minus B plus PB, or PA plus PB minus A, or PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. So likewise, the formulas may be used to obtain the PA union B. So this law will be very much helpful in solving the problems of the first exercise. And before starting the exercise, you are advised to read the concept given in the 11th class also, so that you may not face the problems. And if doubt comes, you may ask in the WhatsApp group or in the school. Thank you.